Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video I'm going to be doing a clear jelly stamper haul as well as a winter inspired design using a couple of the items that I picked up from Clear Jelly Stamper. So I hope you all enjoy watching. I really loved how the design turned out and I was so pleased with all of the items. I thought I would share the actual unboxing with you guys, so here I am just opening up that package. So on the top there, that was just my invoice, so that's why I took that out. First up, because I ordered a Clear Jelly stamper, you get this card that explains exactly how to use your new stamper and how to look after it and how to basically use it to its full advantage. And I thought this was a really nice touch because I know a lot of people do struggle with stamping, and it's nice having a card like this that you can keep on hand on your nail desk, so if you do have any problems you can refer back to that. So yeah, like I said, I thought that was just a really nice professional touch. So what did I order? Like I said, I ordered a stamper, so I went for the big bling, and then I also decided to go for 3 stamping polishes, and of course I had to get a stamping plate, so I just went for one of their smaller ones. Now let's have a closer look at the items. So I went for the big bling stamper. I did do a little bit of research before going for this one, and I'd watched a couple of YouTube videos and I felt as though this was the one that would suit me the most, and I'm overly impressed. First of all, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the jeweled bottom. I love the fact that it's got that CJS logo on the top. It just has a really nice extra special feel to it, although it is just a stamper. I've used plenty of cheap ones, so it is quite nice to have one that just has that little high quality feel to it. The other thing that I also loved is you get a spare stamper head, so you get one that's already on the top of the stamper and then you get one here that's sort of stored in the bottom. So that's just really fab because they do wear out, they do end up going dull, or you may find over the course of time you get some little nicks in the jelly and they don't stamp as well. So it's really handy already having a spare one on hand rather than damaging one and then having to wait to order one. And included with the stamper we have the CJS scraper, which has a really nice firmness to it that I quite liked. It doesn't feel cheap or flimsy. And then I went for 3 stamping polishes. So first up we have number 52, which is called Jazz Not Blues, and this is a nice deep wintry blue. I thought, seeing as I was placing this order as we're creeping into the winter months here in the UK, I'd go for some wintry colours. I did struggle showing you guys this one on camera. To be honest, I was really disappointed with the lighting in this video and I couldn't really work out why at first, but then after I finished recording my bulb went in my lamp, so I think that that's why the lighting was a little bit off, was because that bulb was on the way out. Next up anyway, we have number 33, and this is called, let me just double check actually because the name is not on the box. Okay, so it's number 33 and it's called Crimson Crush, and it is a gorgeous metallic red. I had to get this one because it's just Christmassy and I hope to do some Christmas stamping. So that was why this whole order had a Christmassy winter vibe to it. And then lastly of the stamping polishes we have number 72, which I believe is pronounced Palm Frond, and it is a gorgeous mint green. It's got a really nice soft tone to it as well, so I loved this one. This was my favourite colour of the 3. This was my first time ordering from Clear Jelly Stamper. I've watched tutorials using their products for a long time now, and then I see that their UK site was back up and running, so I'm glad that I bit the bullet and placed an order, and I'm so impressed with everything I got. But I definitely feel that I'm going to end up with an addiction to their plates. This was my very first one and I'm so overly impressed. So this is the Clear Jelly Stamper Christmas 05 plate and it's called Wonderfully Winter. So when I was just having a quick browse through the website, I was instantly drawn to the snowflake, but this has some other gorgeous designs on there as well. I especially love that you've got the holly leaves in different sizes, so you can work on longer and shorter nails with those. And then I love the layering of the things like the baubles. It's just an all-round really good plate, I think, for winter. And that, guys, is my mini haul from CJS. So let's jump in and do a design. I'm just going to be working on some display tips. And first up, I'm going to be using Kiki London's Keep It Teal. I absolutely love this colour, and it is part of one of their autumn collections, but it's definitely a colour that you can take into winter. So I'm going to apply a really thin first coat to begin with. Whenever I'm applying gel polish, I always keep my first coat really thin. Don't worry about it looking sheer or streaky because you'll build up your coverage with your second coat. I then popped that in to cure for 60 seconds, and I'm now going to come in and apply that second coat. And this is where you can see the coverage really pops, and this is a really gorgeous opaque colour. I absolutely love teal anyway, but this one is just so rich and dreamy. So I did do that on 2 of the tips, and then I'm coming in with Kiki London's French White, and I'm going to be applying this on another 2 of the tips. So I thought I'd just show you guys doing it on 1 because I didn't want the video to be super repetitive. And again, I'm applying that first coat really thin. To be honest, when I'm working with this particular white, sometimes I feel that I could get away with just doing 1 coat because it is very highly pigmented. But today I wanted a really opaque, bright background, so I did come in and apply a second coat, keeping these layers really thin because when you're working with white, if it is highly pigmented, you do sometimes find that it might wrinkle in your light. So I'm just making sure to keep those layers nice and thin, curing each layer for 60 seconds. And then for the third nail in the set, I'm going to be using Moonlight Pearl, and this is a really gorgeous pearl effect gel polish. So you can use this on its own, or you can use it over the top of other colours to give off that pearl effect. So on this particular nail, I've already done 1 coat of the French White, cured it for 60 seconds, and then I'm coming in with 1 coat of that Moonlight Pearl. And it just gives off a really beautiful finish. It's quite hard to see it on camera, but it's so pretty. I was just playing around my light to see if it would pick it up a little bit better. So that's my bases done. I've got the 2 teal nails, the 2 plain white nails, and then the Moonlight Pearl in the center. So let's move on and do some nail art. So I am going to leave the first part of the stamping in real time. So I'm going to be doing 2 nails with stamping, but I've left 1 in real time just so you can see how I stamp and so we can have a little bit of a chat about it. So first up, I have made sure that all of my items that I'm using for stamping are close by. So I've got my stamper, my plate, my scraper, my acetone, my lint roller, all within easy reach and set up around me so that I haven't got to shuffle around looking for them when I'm getting down into the stamping, because with stamping you do need to work quite quickly and you don't want to be delaying yourself looking for something. Say for example, once you've applied your stamping polish, looking around for your stamper, you want to have it all close by so you can work as quick as possible. So what I've done here is I have stamped the first image, so I'll talk you through the next one. But to begin with, I'm going to clean off my plate using some lint-free pads and some acetone. So I'm just making sure to really clean that so there's none of that stamping polish left on the plate. And then because I'd used quite a bit of acetone, I just wiped over it with a dry pad just to make sure that there weren't going to be any acetone left on the plate that might affect the polish. I'm then going to apply a generous amount of the stamping polish to roughly half or 3/4 of the image, and then I just scrape straight across with my scraper, picking up my stamper and rolling gently across the image. And as you can see, it picked up absolutely perfectly. I weren't working super quick, like I said, this is in real time, but I was trying to work as quick as I can be, because the longer that polish is in the plate, the quicker it will dry, and then you just won't get a clean pickup. And then because this is a layered image, I'm just taking my time to try and work out how this layered up. So this was a little tricky. I haven't got too many layered plates and it just takes a little bit of practice. What I did notice is one of the flakes on the snowflake is slightly smaller than the others. So I just used that as a guide to try and match it up as best as I could. Once you have got the image on your stamper though, you can take a little bit more time. Once it's on that stamper, you can slow down a little bit, not too much, but you have got enough time to play around and line up your image. And then I just made sure to press down nice and straight and firmly. I didn't roll, I just pressed straight down onto that nail. And then that's the first image done. So I'm going to again clean off my plate with some acetone, and we're going to do the exact same again. I only used this snowflake image in this design today just because I wanted to do something simple. So just giving that plate a really good clean. You really need to make sure that any of that polish you used previously has been removed. And then I'm just going to do exact same again. So I'm applying that generous amount of stamping polish, scraping across, and then I'll roll my stamper over. Now this was my first time using anything CJS, so it didn't go 100% perfect. I think I used probably a little bit too much stamping polish here, and that's why the image didn't pick up as perfect. But as I was working with it and going through this design, it became a lot easier, if that made sense. I've done a lot of stamping. It did take me a very long time to master stamping, but I feel it's one of those things, once it clicks into place, it all becomes a lot easier. And then if you do switch and use a different brand of plates or polish, you kind of just find out how to adapt to it as you're working, if that makes sense. And then here again, I'm just cleaning up my stamping plate. These lint-free pads I'm using are actually paper wax strips that I've just cut into smaller strips, because in my opinion, they make the best lint-free pads. You don't get any fluff or anything like that off of them. And then I'm just using 100% acetone on those. And then again, I've applied my stamping polish and scraped across. I didn't scrape across very well here, but luckily it still picked up the image fine. It's better to hold your your scraper at more of an angle pointing down than straight up like I was there, if that makes sense. And then again, I'm just using that lint roller to clean off those excess bits of the image that's transferred. You can also get sticky pad booklet things from CJS, which are meant to be a lot better than using a roller. But just for ease, I have a roller on hand, so that's what I was using. Now it was a little tricky lining up these layered images and trying to get it as spot on as I could. It didn't come out perfect, and I'm sure it's something that just I need to practice with, but I was pretty pleased with overall how they turned out. And I'm just making sure that when I am placing that down, once I'm happy with how it's lined up, I'm pressing straight down rather than rolling across. So I'm then going to move on and do the second nail. Now I haven't left this in real time, I have sped this up because I didn't want to bore you all. And I'm doing this exactly the same, however I've switched the colours around. So we're doing the inner part of the snowflake in the blue and the outer part in the mint green. And one of the other things that I really loved about these stamping polishes is they are highly pigmented. So even with the lighter colour like this mint green, it stamped really well and you could really see the pop of colour from it. So again, I am just taking my time to line that image up as best as I can. It did take a little bit of faffing around, but I think it's worth the while just taking that little bit of extra time. I was trying to work as quick as I can because I don't want the image to dry on my stamper, but at the same time you've got to try and find that happy balance with getting your image right and working at a good speed. And my head right now is really full of winter and Christmas designs. So I'm really hoping that I get some time this week to sit in my nail room and crack out some nail designs. I received my Charlie's nail art order, which had lots of lovely Christmas nail art in it. And then I got this plate, and I've also received some nail art items from Candy Nails UK as well, which are all Christmas themed. So I'm really feeling like I just hope I get some time this week to sit down and do some Christmas nails while the mental motivation is there to do them. So that was the 2 stamped nails finished. I was really impressed. I quite liked how it worked by switching the colours around and still keeping it in the same set. I felt like it complemented each other well. On to the middle nail. So this was the nail I've done that pearl effect background to. I really felt like some crystals would complement this nail. So I'm just applying a medium to thick layer of jewelry gel. I wanted a slightly thicker layer of gel because I'm going to be using some pointed back crystals, and I just want to be able to sort of have something I can set them into. So I've applied that layer of gel, and then I'm just picking up my crystals. I placed this large pointed back one down in the center, and then I just was sort of winging it. Like I say, I don't use crystals too often, so I'm just coming around the bottom part near that cuticle area with some small AB crystals. The AB crystals are from the Crystal Studio. The larger crystal, I'm not 100% sure where I got that from, but the other pointed back crystals, the opal ones, they are from Born Pretty. I will try and leave a link in the description box below to all the products that I use, but some of them I've had ages, so I can't always find links, but I'll do the best that I can. So the pointed back ones, I'm just sort of adding these in at the sides, trying to really tuck them under so that they would support that larger crystal. Same with the smaller ones around the back of that crystal. I'm trying to get them tucked underneath just so that larger crystal has that bit of support to lean on. And then I'm just going to continue placing these down, moving them around until I'm happy with how they all are. One of the great things about using a jewelry gel is that you've got plenty of time. You can move these crystals around as much as you like until you pop that nail into cure. So it does make it a lot easier than you using things like glue. So I'll just let you guys watch this and I will pop back in a mo. So this is what my crystal placement looked like. I thought I would give you guys just a bit of a side view shot. And then before popping this into cure, I'm just going to clean off some of that excess jewelry gel. So I'm just using the same brush that I used to apply it with, but I've dipped it into some alcohol and I'm just taking that gel off just so that I get a nice smooth finish when it does come to top coating. And then I'm going to come in with the Kiki London Premium Collection top coat. This is a wipe off top coat, so you do need to make sure you remove the tacky layer. But I'm just going to apply a nice thin layer of this to all of the nails, and then I will pop them in to cure for 60 seconds. When it does come to top coating over the stamping, I like to just float that layer of top coat over the top. This just helps with any pitting, and it also helps stop any smudging if that stamping polish hasn't yet dried. And around the crystals, I'm just making sure that I get as close to them as I can with my top coat, but making sure not to touch them because the top coat will dull their shine. And then guys, that is pretty much the end of the video. I'm just going to continue flying through top coating all of the nails. I really hope you enjoyed watching. I loved doing this design and I am so impressed with my CJS haul. I definitely will be ordering more when I can. So if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up or let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're watching and you're not already subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscribe button. So this is the nails now that they have all been top coated. I then popped them into cure for a full 60 seconds, and off camera I did wipe off that tacky layer, and this is the finished result. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love, take care, and I shall see you all again soon in the next video. Bye bye.